Hi, Facebook.
Hey, y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. We have our other sister is missing, but she's fine and she's all well. So we want to say thank you guys so much for being here. So let me introduce everybody. We got Maggie. Say hello.
Hey, y'all.
We got Tanya. Say hello.
Hey, y'all.
And then we have this wonderful, beautiful, special guest, our sister. I'm telling you, that was our sister when we were younger. We used to see her. She used to have her hair laid to a guy. She used to always have her hair laid in it. She did. So we have her right here, and her name is Brandy Wiseman.
Hi. Hello.
Dr. Honey. She gonna get us right. She's gonna get us right, honey. She's a therapist. You know, that's a little bit about what you do, Miss Brandy.
So yeah, I am a psychotherapist, mental health therapist. I have a private practice, deal with like mood disorders, ADHD. I see, you know, folks' anxiety, depression, transitions, relationships, you name it. If it's mental health related,
do you focus on adults or kids, or you do the span?
I have some kids. And when I say kids, I'm saying like, you know, preteen, teen. But mostly it's, I see a lot of young adults and I have, you know, older adults. But ironically lately, and I'm really happy to see that, you know, you got a lot of young people coming in for this healing. So that's like, you know, really, really good. I'm really happy to see that. A lot of African Americans, a lot of men too. So, you know, that's yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
Okay, so do you think, okay, see, Dad, you see everybody.
Oh, I was you.
Right. So I'm like, wow, that's what I'm talking about. Because we've talked about this in the past shows about how men, because Spence, who was one of our guests last time, and I posted their thing again the other day, but like Spence, he was talking about how men in how they don't know how to emote. So since they don't know how to emote, it's tough. It's tough for us to date them.
Yep.
Because they don't know how to, we're wanting something that they don't know how to do, or they haven't learned how to do. So I guess my question to you, Miss Brandy, is do you think that in 2021 that you're finding some men who are willing to do the work, to be that man for, you know, their family, their girl, whatever, you know?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, part of the reason why I'm so excited about having you know, young people in therapy and we get to have that dialogue is that the earlier that you kind of unlearn and reteach you know, healthy communication, just, you know, learning about or working through that trauma of, you know, childhood, relationships and that sort of thing. You don't have, the earlier that you resolve that, you don't have to go through life where you're in your, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s, trying to, you know, get it right. Unfortunately, you know, historically speaking, men and women are just traditionally just raised differently. The expectation is, you know, for men that you don't cry or show, you know, weakness. Vulnerability is equated to weakness. But vulnerability is the one thing that, you know, when we talk about the human experience and that connectedness, vulnerability is a large part of that. So you have to be able to be, you know, vulnerable with your mate. Otherwise, you get that guard, and that's only going to go so far.
So we're going to bring it to you, Miss Brandy. So personally, for you,
You know
what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to know. Because you are so beautiful. Like, and the thing is this to me, you know how like people are like, oh, no, for real, you know what I'm saying? They already know I don't be giving out compliments just cause, okay? It comes from the heart. So You know, because you're pretty. Not only are you pretty, you're sweet. That's you know what I'm saying? So
Thank you.
both. Because some people, you know, they pretty, but they got some problems.
Yeah.
Work on.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, I'm like, do with these men, how are you dealing with them right now with you? Like, are you dating? Are you interested? Are you saying they interested in you? Like, what you got going on?
So right now I am in a very serious relationship. Yeah.
That's right.
You know
what constitutes serious, Brandy?
Yeah, Maggie want to know.
So let me. Yeah. So let's break this down. Let me get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take off the therapist hat, okay?
Yeah, we ready, girl. We ready for
it. Sister girl.
So you know what, I think the older we get, even young people too, I can't exclude them, but the older we get, we need to really learn how to define what it is that we want unapologetically, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, in dating, my current boyfriend now, or partner, because I feel crazy saying boyfriend, but all right. So my current partner, we actually dated. Well, I don't know what that was, but 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And we were both in a completely different, you know, headspace. I was coming out of, you know, a divorce. I had 2, like, you know, babies, literally, you know what I mean? Like, and he was just in a different place as well. So the experience then was, for the both of us, just was not, you know, healthy. So fast forward, you know, 10 years later, he reached out, and at first I'm just like, you know, at first I was like, nah, I'm good, glad to see you okay. And I kept it pushing, right?
Why was that your initial? Why was that your initial response?
Well, because of the past, because of our past, you know.
Been there, done that kind of.
Yeah, kind of been there, done that. It was a lot of, you know, hurt involved and that sort of thing. So, but so that was the you know, the initial, like, he kind of came back in, you know, on the scene. And then a year later, he contacted me again. And, you know, he was just like, well, you know, can we just, you know, I just want to talk to you, and there's some things that I want to, you know, say. So he really wasn't even approaching it like, you know, let's get back together, or, you know, that sort of thing. So long story short, we had a conversation, and he apologized, and there was some reconciliation, you know, that happened. There was some healing that happened. There were some things that was said that I needed to, you know, to hear. I had forgiven him, but I'm all about accountability. And so, you know, for him, it was about, you know, being accountable. So this time around, you know, we talked, and we had to get to know each other. We had to reintroduce ourselves as adults, right? Because we were, you know, we were both different people back then. And with that, we also had to establish, you know, I had to establish my boundaries. Look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm dating with purpose.
That's right.
You know, I don't want to just, you know, it's not about just a sexual relationship, or just, you know, trying to figure out what we doing, where we going, and all of this kind of stuff, and, you know, this kind of thing. So I made that very clear in the beginning, and you know, he verbalized what his expectations were, and we made sure that we were on the same page before we even, you know, proceeded, because at this point we're in our 40s, like, we're not trying to waste anybody's time, you know.
Right.
And I want to set a good example for, you know, my kids, because we learn by modeling, so kids are watching, right?
Yeah.
So so it's been a total 180. I am, you know, I'm very happy. We, you know, we talk about marriage, and we talk about those things. And so, yeah, so we'll see. But I think the point of it all, and what I try to drive, you know, the point that I try to drive home to everyone is, you know, establishing your boundaries and sticking to that unapologetically. Everybody is not meant to be in your space, in your life, and that's okay. Everybody's not supposed to match with everybody, right? So, so yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. I'm about to
Does
say,
he have children too? Does he have
That's
children? Like you have
He
children?
does.
Does he have children? Okay.
Yeah, he does. And that's another conversation that, people kind of skip over
Mhm.
with dating. We skip over those kind of tough topics.
Right.
Do you want kids? Do you want to get married? Some people, everybody doesn't want to get married. And that's
Right.
okay, but making sure that your partner is on the same page. Because, I don't want any more kids. So prior to him, I was running into these men who, you waited until your late 30s and 40s to have kids. Don't put that on me. Like, you looking at me like, you gonna give me some babies, and I'm not. Like, I'm done with that. I'm in a different phase of life right now. So,
Right.
there's no need for us to even go forward in that way, because we are already not. That's a huge point of contention,
Right.
So you just have to be intentional in dating.
Better
Yeah.
speak. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you guys broke up and you got back together, or whatever the case may be, how did you know? Like, what did you see in him that was totally different than that was like, and it wasn't just him just saying like, oh, what I'm saying, oh, me, I'm sorry. He wasn't, that it was genuine for you.
Yep. See, I think the key is, verbalizing is fine, but also you have to meet that with action. And we women, we have to be patient and allow, you know what I mean? Like, we let them show us on their terms, in their time, right? So and it won't take long. It will not take long for you to see it. It won't take long, because you can tell. It's only so far that an imposter can go before you get that gut feeling that something's just not feeling right. So for us, it was just a matter of, he was verbalizing, but I saw, the action behind it, and it was consistent. So I'm like, okay.
We'll be talking about how it's these great guys, and I mean, because I am very hopeful. I think we're all very hopeful.
That's right.
That our future husband, future mate will find us. And I feel like sometimes I'm running into these great guys, right? And then I'm just like, something, you seem like a good guy, but you don't seem like the guy for me. I mean, that's just what it be seeming like sometimes. I'm just like, and I think it baffles people too, because I be so tired of hearing people say, what? You ain't married? What? You ain't? Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, we love you. Oh my God. It just be like all these things. And it's just like, okay, so I think I've owned up to the fact that, okay, I've met myself where I am. And like, I think I'm just at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm me, working on me. We've been talking about getting my life in order and putting that energy out there, that whoever is going to be will meet me and come into my presence where I am, because I'm just like, I've been seeing, like beautiful couples, meeting beautiful guys too. Just like, oh yeah, like Victoria would be like, oh yeah, I went on a date. This is so much ago, but anyway, it's been a while. And I'm like, yeah, he was cool. Like, he cool, but he wasn't like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, but it wasn't no sparks. It was like boyish. It was just like, yeah, you got a good head on your shoulders, or like, yeah, you seem real good on paper, but I don't know what it is. But I was just like, it wasn't, and maybe we weren't having them deep conversations, like you said, or I don't know, because I'd be saying, if at the age we are now, I'm like ready, but I don't want to be like scaring men off and be like, oh, I'm interrogating you on the first date, because I kind of want it to be organic. You tell me about, your passion or your goals, or, if you're in the job or the field that you want, because I feel like I'm open book, like on first, like, even through text,
we are.
I be telling you, I don't just say, how's your day going? I put a, how's your day going? And then I respond with how my day was. Automatically, I'm just like, Yeah, how was your day go? Well, let me tell you what happened with me, and then my message get a little long. Shoot it at you, expecting, it to be reciprocated a little bit. Because I just be like, like you said, in society, men sometimes just aren't as vulnerable, aren't as open.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that may be like the spark that ain't hitting the, whatever it is we doing. But I'm just like, oh, no, this date was a little homeboyish.
Yeah.
Tanya, are you sharing, or while you're sharing, I just keep thinking, right, whenever we talk about males not being vulnerable, I always go back to females, right? Because we're not always that vulnerable or transparent either. Just because we're friendly on the surface and can talk to everybody, I know I have the issue with vulnerability and transparency. Like,
not anymore, Maggie. You're getting better. You're getting better.
Girl, what?
Not anymore. You are way better, honey. Since when we started, you way better. You getting better.
But I'm just saying, right? It's a journey, and it's hard to trust people. Like, yeah, we'll give them surface, and I think all of us will give them surface all day.
Right.
As girlfriend relationships will be vulnerable, but I think sometimes it's still harder to be vulnerable with the opposite sex, because you're like, I don't want you to use that against me. I don't want you to judge me for it. But to Brandy's point, she said unapologetically be you, and that's the energy and space I'm trying to move in right now. Like, this is Maggie, take it or leave it, but this is me. I'm a little crazy and goofy, but whatever.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do you, Brandy? So, like, let me ask you this too. With this guy, like, how do you feel about posting that you're dealing with somebody online? Like, how like everybody, how some people just really go overboard. They just do, and to each his own. To each his own. Whatever makes you feel comfortable and safe, or whatever you want to do, that's great. Like, it's no judgment ever. Everybody can do whatever they want to do. That's your page. But how do you feel about, like, just when somebody who's dating? Because now I'm telling you, people getting married, and I'm like, I don't see we didn't even know you was. We didn't know, like. So, like, how do you feel about like that? Like, do you feel like, would you be quiet? Are you going to be quiet? Like, like, what do you feel about that?
We are quiet. I think, I don't need to broadcast the relationship, because I respect our relationship, regardless. And I feel confident that he, does the same. So, we don't feel it necessary. Like, I don't feel it necessary for social media to know every time I go out, with, somebody new, or, you know what I mean? Like, so when the time comes, and for me, we're in a serious relationship, but at the end of the day, again, action, right? So, when the proposal happens and when we decide to get married and really solidify things, then, then that's noteworthy. But right now, I'm okay with keeping our relationship. A lot of times it needs to be out of the spotlight so that you don't have all that extra influence in order to really, nurture and flourish, and no shade to people who want to broadcast.
Right. No shade.
Okay,
no
girl.
shade at all.
None. But for me, it's not necessary. It's just not.
Okay. So that means we can't go on your page and see. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
So we can't.
No,
Well,
you can't.
how long have y'all been dating?
So now it'll be almost 2 years.
Damn.
Wow.
Excuse me. Sorry. Dang.
Yep, it'll be almost 2 years.
2 years. Wow.
Yep. And don't get me wrong. Let me back up. We've had, our issues, you know what I mean? Like, we've had that split and get back together type of thing. We had to, work that thing on out. But I think, the key is, and this is why I tell even my, my clients when they, when we're talking about when it's like relationship related, you set your boundaries, and what your boundaries are, though they equate to your non-negotiables. So that's, what are the general rules from, that I need from a partner? in order to feel secure, feel happy, be satisfied. That's like the base. Those are your non-negotiables. Anything outside of that is, we can compromise. It's about compromise, and sacrifice. So, that package might not be, 6'4" like you used to. 5'10" might be hitting, them boundaries, right? Like, you know what I mean? And that might be your guy, so just be open to, the package might not be what you idealistically what you visualize. But, stick to those boundaries because those are your non-negotiables. Anything outside of that, you work with, that's where effective communication and the compromise and the sacrifice. And you just kind of, you go from there. Nobody's perfect.
So you being a psychotherapist,
child, all up in the mind.
how does that reflect or impact your relationship? Like, do you bring that home, so to say, or can you take that hat off and be in a relationship? Or does he look at that like, don't bring that home to me? Like, I'm trying to, it's me and you. Put that book stuff, on the counter.
Contrary to popular belief, like work is work and home is home. And it's funny because, we can, as therapists, we can sit and we can, tell clients all of the right things, right? But then when you talk about like, emotionally connected and the closer you are to me, there's some areas that I struggle in, as well. Me telling you I'm less connected. So it's easier for me to tell you, the right, so to speak. So there's some areas that, I have to, or that I've worked on. So to answer your question, like, no, I don't, there is an on and off, there's an on and off switch. I don't go through the relationship like, that's a defense mechanism.
What you really doing?
Yeah. Where's your coping skills? We don't. No, we don't do that. But I am aware it does help because I am aware of, what effective communication looks like, how that's supposed to flow. I do couples therapy. I even see, couples like premarital. So getting, families prepared for, the journey, like the right way, right? So, I'm aware of those, those things. And having a mental health background, I find that it helps me to be more patient in certain areas because I have that understanding. But yeah, I'm just not constantly on. Did that answer your question?
It did. It did for sure.
What would be like one thing you would say that, and let's say us, single Black women could do to really prepare ourselves for the next chapter, for meeting that person to come into our life? Like, what have you seen being, a psychotherapist for so long? What is something that you say, you know what, let me just put this out there because I see this happen all the time. Like, what piece of thing would you say, okay, let me tell you this, let me give you a heads up on this, get this right so that you can be ready for this? Like, what would you say we should do to be prepared or be ready or just, for that next chapter in our lives?
Yeah.
What would you say? Like, what are you saying that's like a trend? I mean, as women, because I don't want to say, what's the man need to do? Because, I want to be ready. What would you say we need to do in order to be, prepared? What would your piece of advice or knowledge that you have for us?
Yeah, so I think you all hit the nail on the head about getting myself prepared, working on me so that when you come to the table, you're coming whole, right? And so you're not bringing, baggage and, trauma and, insecurities and that sort of thing. But I think if I had to, top I would say the top three, definitely making sure that, effective communication is that we're aware and we know what that looks like. We're able to, to facilitate like effective, conversations and effectively communicate in a healthy way. The second thing is going to be, establishing those healthy boundaries. And sticking to them, executing them. So don't just say it, but the follow through, oh, you cute, I'm gonna let you slide.
Right.
Or, the sex is great, I'm gonna let you get away with this a couple of times. That's a rabbit hole. So, but I think, one of the biggest things too, the older we get, women, we're nurturers by nature, and we're used to that independent, that independent, we're used to handling everything, especially when we have kids. So if we're a single mom, now we're used to, holding that down, the responsibilities, that sort of thing. So, being prepared to, kind of hang some of those hats up and delegate. Because you, as much as you hear people say, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. Yes, we do. We need each other. We do.
I'm about to say, we had those women, honey. We don't.
Good, because that is one of the most destructive, cognitions that we carry. Like, I don't need there. And let me differentiate. There's a difference between need and dependent on. Nobody wants an extra adult dependent. That's something different, right?
Correct.
Nobody's saying that, if you're not around, then, I ain't gonna eat, or the lights ain't gonna come on because I can't pay the bill, because I'm gonna eat and the lights will be on, right?
Correct.
But we do need, one another. And so being able to, delegate and learn how to be vulnerable.
I got a question. Okay.
That
just made me think about something else. That made me think about something else, because we are grown. We 35. We got our own place. Got our own car. We've been taking care of bills. Like, let's say we start dating somebody. How do you give them? I mean, because I don't want to be like, oh my God, you got to take care of all this. But how would I? Like, what's one hat I could give up and be like, that men want, that could be like, okay, she needs me. Like, is it just like simply just calling and asking for, help with something small, or, like, what is it? Cause I'm like, you don't have to do like big things. Like, you're not my husband, but like, what is something little that a man like is like, oh yeah, she makes me feel needed, although she's very independent, like an independent woman.
And I know a lot of men are watching, so men, put it in the comments. What are those things? Brandy's gonna answer, but what are those things we
definitely give off that energy? Because sometimes I feel like we can do it unknowingly. Like, give off that energy, like, I take care of myself, I get my nails done, my hair done, blah blah blah. I don't want to give off that energy that I don't need you. Well, by all means, I love for somebody to come in and help me. I love a gift. I love, just like something, but I don't want to be like, sometimes, like when I say I love a gift, but I'm never going to ask nobody for a gift, if that makes sense. Like,
for gas money.
I feel like I shouldn't have to ask you, a man, for something. I feel like you should offer it up in a sense or something, but I don't want to give off a vibe that like, oh, she already do everything herself and she don't even ask. So it's like a thin line sometimes where I feel like, okay, I ain't gonna sit over here and act like helpless, but then I don't want to be like to the other extreme, like a gold digger. Like, I just want a man for his money or to be buying me dinner, just like, it's so hard now times. I'm just being very honest today, because even like sometimes I'd be like, look, I be wanting to go Dutch, because I ain't even got time for no mess. Because like, if I go with you and you come with some nonsense and then you be like, well, I bought you dinner, And then
Yeah.
I almost want to, come back with that energy. Like, I don't need you to buy me no dinner.
Yeah.
And then they be like, well, she was stuck up. She was uppity. She was there. No, fool. I ain't even like you like that.
Yeah, right. You're just
It's
not
tough.
for me, right? Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's so tough. That's why even now I be like, we could do a coffee date. We could go to the park because I mean, just I go back to this all the time. I don't know if it's being light skinned, but people, they think I'm stuck up. They think I'm a gold digger. They think all these things, but when you meet me and anybody, I'm very loving, very kind. I will, give what I need, to anybody, but I just don't want that just because I know that stigma is out there. But then again, I find myself maybe putting off this energy that, I don't need somebody or something.
Yeah.
So I guess what would be like a happy medium?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. And the right person that comes along, like you won't have to, they won't make you feel, that way.
He said, take out the trash. Somebody in the thing said, tell him to take out the trash. He don't live with me.
Okay, go
He
ahead,
was
Brandy.
just saying
I'm gonna tell
something
you
very
this though.
simple.
I'm gonna tell you this though. You know what? My partner, I was about to say boyfriend, y'all. My partner
But
does not live with me.
But it's 2021 because so sometimes when you say partner, it's like wait a minute. Society's kind of changed the definition. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's cool that you say boyfriend terms too.
Okay. To be clear. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So my boyfriend doesn't live here, right? But
wait a minute, long distance?
Huh?
That's totally different. You say he don't live here?
That's another level.
No. He doesn't live in my home. Like we don't live together. This was to the trash comment.
Okay.
However, if there's any trash cans in the house that are full when he comes in, I promise you that they are empty when he leaves. It's not because I've said something. That is the type of man that he is. So he sees that something needs to be done and he does it, right? I remember one time where, the kids were in the house and I was about to take the trash out because to me, I'm just like, oh, it's full. Let me take it out. And he's like, no, babe, Brandon is here. He needs to take out the trash. Let him take out the trash.
That's right.
What are you doing? And we had that conversation and he was like, growing up, like my mom, none of my mom or my sister ever had to touch trash. And there was 2 men in the house. Like, that's the type of, man. So the expectation, like I'm not asking you and to get him in because it's all about conditioning and no one reads minds. So if that's the expectation, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, can you take the trash out? And so you start that conditioning and start that expectation of, what it is. But, going back to your original question, and I remember this, my mom has always told me this, and I never understood it until adulthood, but let a man be a man. Allow him to be a man. So, we know how to screw in the light bulb, but if he offers and he wants to change the light bulb because it blew, let the man change the light bulb. Like, sit back and let a man be a man. This is not a question of ability. We know we can do it. It's going to get done if it's not done, but let a man be a man and that's how they feel, wanted and needed. And also, we think that men aren't, emotional, but they are. They just show it differently. So, affirm, let them know, like, thanks, babe, for doing this. I recognize you. I value you. You look nice today. I love you. All of those things. So, yeah.
I feel like they're more emotional than us. We just show our emotions.
Girl, you better know it.
Correct.
You better know it. I'm talking about whole adult temper tantrums from me.
Correct.
But yes. And when you think about, like, the mental health side of it, That's exactly right. They're conditioned to hold in all of this. So they've got years and years and years of just stuff that they've had to, kind of hold in. And I'm not talking about all men. Let me be clear, but it comes out in different ways, and it comes out as, anger and, irritability and depression and temper tantrums. It's like, oh, baby, let me give you a hug. Like,
We got a couple people in the chat though, Brandy, that wanted to say hey. Jason.
Hi.
Jason said hey.
Who else?
Marquita's in here chatting it up. She talking it up.
Hey.
Kendall. Lord Jesus, I see your picture, honey.
Yes, I can't see. I can't see.
I know because we're talking. Yeah.
Okay.
And we got somebody in here. I don't know who this is.
What they say?
Brian Walker.
Oh, Brian,
you know Brian.
Walker. No, we know him. He's younger than us.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. I mean, you grown now. I'm just saying.
Brian. Hey, Ashley in here. Hey, Ashley.
Hey,
so we got a couple people in the chat. Yeah. Marquita says she ain't going Dutch. Honey, you married now. You know you ain't going Dutch. We know you ain't going Dutch.
I feel like this is more me. I feel like if whoever asks somebody out, because I'm not, if a woman wants to ask a man out, cool. If the man asks the woman out, cool. But there is kind of, for me, if you ask me out, I would expect you to pay. That's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. Now, mind you, if I say, and this is just me, if I say, hey man, why don't we go try this restaurant out? Now, mind you, the guys that I've dealt with or whatever in the past, I've never had to say, so who you gonna pay? Thank God. But usually, like, if now, since it's 2021 and guys feel like, you're trying to get in their pockets or whatever the case may be, whatever issue that they have, I'm like, I don't want that, but I don't mind paying. But see, when I say something like that, then I come off as, oh, you aggressive. Because I'm like this. I don't need you to pay. I don't need you to. I'm just letting you know, brother. I don't need you to pay.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know what it is, Brandy. I don't know. I'm like, we like that whole thing, like Tanya said, the whole thing about like I want them to do it. To me, want is a big thing for me. A want is bigger than a need. I don't need you to do anything, but I love when you do it. I want you to do it. Right. I'm like, okay, these men, and I'm just like, Lord, I'm just gonna sit back and let you do what you do.
Right. Yeah, that might be that effective communication too. Because now I just be like, I be having to, say some stuff like, can you do that? I think I might start saying that. Would you mind? Would you mind doing this for me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, girl. Show them pretty white teeth. Yes.
I gotta put all the little stops. I'm just sitting here saying it in my mind, like,
yes.
Oh, for little old me. We say that all the time. Oh my God. We be saying that all the time, and I just be like, oh my gosh, that be sounding so funny.
What they say is all about connecting to your feminine energy and let their masculine.
Oh Lord, please don't give me started on energy. Yes. But you know what though? This is what I feel, because I'm not a man, so I can never speak what a man feels or what a man is experiencing as far as how he sees energy. But I feel like energy is so interesting to me. Like, okay, feminine energy. What exactly is that? Like, are you basically saying you need to be like, shut your mouth and let me do? Is that feminine energy? Does that mean that, okay, I have to say, oh, okay, like you just said, I know how to fix this thing that just broke, which I'm quick to call my daddy, my brother, excuse me, can you come fix it? Don't mean I can't do it, but I feel like when people say, they hide behind that whole feminine energy. Now, feminine energy is so different now, because I feel like women have had to do a lot more than they had to do before. Because you have single mothers, and single mothers have to be the male and the feminine energy. They have to be both. Yeah. That's why I'm like, okay, I think that's where we are, whatever. I am having a hard time with that. I'm like, okay, I can still have a feminine energy and let you know how I feel. It's correct it and say, I don't like that. Or whichever way I say it. Whichever way, I mean, as long as it's not disrespectful to them. I would never disrespect you, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like they put aggression more to male energy than feminine energy. I'm like, what? Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's not. I'm not trying to be that way.
Yeah,
But
it's about assertiveness. I mean, I think you hit it. It's, assertiveness doesn't equal aggression. It looks different. It's not about what you say, but how you say it.
Right.
So, I can, well, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And so it doesn't necessarily have to, it's not equated to, aggression. And when I think about, like feminine energy, I think, more so of that nurturing side. And a lot of times we are the brains or the mastermind behind, so being that support, and it goes both ways. This is a team, right? And so, you got different positions that you play. Everybody can't be quarterback, right? Somebody got to be running back, somebody got to be quarterback, somebody got to be water boy, like whatever, that looks like. But I think it's about, when I think of, that feminine energy, I think of that, that nurturing and that softness, but that does not equate to weakness.
Right.
Right.
Right. Because we out here, we securing the bag and we doing all that, you know what I mean? But I'm not necessarily an alpha
female
aggressive, I'm not, you know what I mean? But stuff gonna get done, and going back, I've gone Dutch before. Because that's not why I'm on this date. Like, I'm not trying to get a meal. I'm gonna eat.
Right. Somebody's gonna pay.
Right.
I
mean, not all the time. It was just this couple of times ago. I was just like, oh, let's just go to the park. I had been going, oh my God, I ain't even gonna say, I had been online surfing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Swipe.
Oh, honey, weed and swipe. I don't even swipe no more. That's bad. I ain't even.
No, because that's not where you are right now.
Yeah, right now it ain't there. That's why I was just like, my energy. I don't have the energy for it right now, like I did back then. Yeah. So I was just like, I told one dude, I was like, let's go to the park. And then sure enough, afterwards, he was like, oh, you hungry? You want something? Sure, yeah, cool.
Yeah, dating is expensive these days. Like, and when you out here, you're like, you're dating. So you're dating like, multiple people to try to, kind of, drill down and find. Yeah, like you start calculating. I started feeling bad for these brothers. Like, I'm cool with, going to, grab coffee, or even if it's a situation where, I pay, because that's, I just have a whole nother mentality when it comes to that, because what I don't need, I'm not here for your money. Like I said, we,
right,
probably can pay the tab for, everybody who in the restaurant right now. So that's not what I'm here for, though. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. So it's not about, that. So removing that from the equation, but my expectation has never been like, just, if you don't, when you get to the point, like when you're like paying for every single person that you're going out with, like that's like
a lot
expensive. That's like, it's costly. So, I'm good with, let me take you to get coffee, or let me, let's go to lunch. You know what I mean?
Let's go for a walk at the park. Let's go exercise.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that initial meeting out of the way. And then if we feel like we have a connection and that chemistry is there, and we want to continue on
a second day,
then we can start going and who gonna pay. You know what I mean?
Hold on, but would you ask the guy first? Hold on. Would you say to them first, hey, like, oh, let's go get coffee. Let's go, would you do that? Or would you wait for him to do it? Or what would you do?
Ain't no waiting. Girl.
Amen.
That's Maggie.
Amen.
Oh, wait for what?
That part.
Maggie, and
That is Maggie right there all the way. 3 calls.
Maggie
Give
and
you my
Spring,
3
honey.
messages. Gotta go.
3 messages. We better be exchanging numbers. I need to hear your voice. What's going on?
Yes.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yes, because I need to know what I'm dealing with. Like I got kids. You help with homework? Like I need to know what that dialogue looks like.
Right.
So can you correct some English papers? That's what see, y'all got me. Let me get that.
We had to get that side of you too. We had to know.
Girls, like wait for what? So no.
So that means if you scenario. You go out, I mean, not no more because you with your man. But let's say
don't
you
get
go
me in
out,
trouble, girl.
Right. I know I said, sir, we wish you could come on the show. Well, hopefully we come on the show.
Right. Say that scenario.
So if you out somewhere and you see somebody you like or whatever, what is your first move? Is you just gonna stare them down and to get to you, or you gonna go like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Like you know what I mean? If you're in the public, do you approach? Would you approach?
I'm trying to think. You know what? Very rarely did I get approached. I think a lot of men like, yeah. Oh God, yes, girl. Yes. What? Girl, yes. And the ones that did, I was like, oh honey, you ain't my type, but you kudos for you even trying. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I'm kind of flirtatious by nature. I guess that's the Gemini in me. So I might, I might look a little longer, or you know what I mean? Like, sorry, it's a certain smile you can give. Come on, it's a little different than
about that
regular smile. So, I don't have a problem with like displaying like some interest, and then kind of go from there. I'm exactly. I go more so off of vibes. Mm-hmm. I'm not stuck on they have to approach me first because they might be shy. We
know a lot of them, baby. We know a lot of shy men, honey. We know a lot of
equating shyness to scatteredness.
Yeah, a lot of men are intimidated,
like women.
Yeah. Yep. So they tend to be intimidated. So it just kind of it kind of depends. But I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem with flirting or initiating. We'll say that.
Interesting. I'm glad I asked, because I promise you, that's what people think though. They always think like they know your story without even asking. That's why when you said you don't get approached, I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah, no. No.
Because you're so bubbly. That's why I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And maybe it's intimidating.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm like,
it's intimidating. It can be intimidating, I'm sure.
Somebody, yeah. But see, when I'm in the car and I'm going somewhere, or I'm focused on driving, or whatever, like or just in the grocery store, like my personality can't, it doesn't show so much.
Right.
Until you kind of get into that dialogue with me, but you have to get to that point. So I've heard from different people, that I can be, I don't know, intimidating, or perhaps men are, maybe intimidated, or assumptions are made. You see somebody who's attractive and you automatically think, oh, they got somebody, or 2 or 3 or 10 folks, right? Make that assumption. Meanwhile,
they twiddling their thumbs.
So you'll say something,
They swipe it.
Right. Steady over here.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna be twiddling my thumbs waiting on nobody.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're so happy that you found love, or finding love, because when you get that ring, that'll be found,
Yes.
That's how I feel, that's how I say you still until you which I don't believe in that, but I do believe like you're still finding, because you guys have been together and you were because people are really scared to do like, okay, well, we used to deal with each other back in the day, then you recycle. We call them recycled.
That's what we say. That's our word.
We call them recycled. They are. They're recycled. They're coming like I'm recycled. He recycled. We tried to recycle the relationship again.
Mhm.
You know, it's never disrespectful in a disrespectful way, but
Yeah.
sometimes recycles don't work.
No, yeah.
Mhm.
No, change has to occur before, you know what I mean? Let's be clear. Some things have to be in place and change has to occur. We just ain't gonna keep, looping and staying in that same, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, don't come to me the same. We're different now. So that's why this particular situation, worked, because we put in, that dialogue and laid those expectations, and we were both different. I told him at the very beginning, I am not the same woman that you dealt with, 10 years prior. So if that's what you're expecting, you're in for a rude awakening.
And you should be, because
Yeah.
and I hope he wouldn't expect you to be the same woman. That's what I be telling
But
people. If you met me in my
some people
teens
do,
and my
though.
20s,
Some
there's
people
no
do
way. Why
though.
would you expect me to? I have same values, but there's no way. There's nothing like growth
Yeah.
seen in a person.
Yeah.
And we clearly still have some friends back in the church. What you doing? Oh, you doing that same old? Oh, okay. Okay. And you ain't for me, honey. You ain't grown not one bit. You ain't grown up. You still in the what? You still out in the club doing what?
Yep.
Yeah, I was doing that in the teens and the 20s.
Early 20s, honey.
I don't care. No, you ain't
Not
tired.
that you can just stop. You don't have to stop going to the club. You can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
If you still want to go and have fun and do all this and do all that, we're just saying that you haven't grown as a person.
Right.
As a person. I mean, your activities, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But who's to say if you ain't growing? I mean, it don't matter if you ain't with me, so it don't matter.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I hate to say it, I hate to be like that. It's not like, oh, I don't care about you, but I kind of don't. Because I can't care about you like that. Because to me, that's a very sensitive place to be in, me caring and you don't. And
Yes.
So,
protect your space. Yes.
That's what we stop. We stop it right there. Okay, if I heard anything when you said protect your space, okay, all around, right? And because we never thought we would be 30 and oh Lord, we getting ready to jump on somebody turn it. Oh Lord, somebody
30.
Somebody better turn 30.
That's when the birthday starts.
Yes, we start with oh Lord, wow.
It's been
about to be
37.
And I'm like, Lord have mercy. Wow. Oh wow. And we had not now marriage, not now, I'm just saying, we just this is what it's been. But obviously God had a plan and that wasn't it.
Yeah.
So we're grateful. We're grateful that you came on here with your pretty self.
Thank you.
And next time, hopefully we can get your mans, when y'all get on a different level, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to jump in your business. We don't want to jump in your business, but I'm just saying, because you know why? How hard it is for us to get men on this show?
Wow.
But now we're noticing that a lot more are trying to come on now. You know what I mean? Because they're actually trying to date, and they're actually married, or they're in situations, and they want to say, "What y'all tripping?" Like, you just want to have a conversation.
Yeah,
so,
they're not afraid to speak up for
they're
men,
not.
they're from the male perspective, which is great. We look for that.
Let us know whenever you want to come on here.
You know what? He be with it. He would do it. He be with it.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's amazing. So you and your crazy brother, tell Chris, we all know Chris, tell him hello. Crazy. Because we'll tell him to watch the show.
I will.
Okay, so we thank you so much, Brandy. I think you gave a lot to us. Protect your space. That's what I'm leaving with. Like, come on now and be unapologetically. This is what I'm gonna do. This is me. If you want it, I got flaws, I got issues. Yeah, I'm like this, I'm like that. I'm like my mom, I'm like my dad, whatever. I think that whatever they wanted about us, you either want it or you don't.
That's right.
So we love you so much for that. Oh, please shout out your business. Hello, we about to blow.
Oh yes. So yes. My practice is Centerside Counseling and Consulting. www.centersidehealth.com.
I'm about to put it right in the chat.
Yep.
You said
Centerside.
center.
Centerside, CENTERSIDE. Centerside Counseling and Consulting, but the website is centersidehealth.com.
Centersidehealth.com.
Yeah, so come get this healing, baby. I'm not, I got the piercings, the tattoo. I am that therapist.
Better say that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Here's a tattoo. Yeah. Yeah, she's that one because she got them nails too, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She's Brandy, the homegirl Brandy. So that's a wonderful thing. Guys, it's open for men too. Y'all can get some healing.
Absolutely.
Get that healing.
We can do it together. We do it together.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So we thank you so much. Anything else?
Lady.
Yeah, anything else anybody else want to say before we depart?
No, we appreciate you, Brandy. We definitely thank you for coming on and sharing with us, and even going personal in your own personal experiences.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I need to know, because I remember one time when you was dating this dark-skinned man, and I was like, oh, God. Then I don't know where he is. It don't matter. It don't matter. He gone. He where he need to be.
Yep, girl. Yep.
He where he need to be because he made room for this new man with you now.
Yes.
So we're
gonna do it.
He will do it. If you let him, you let him. So we love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. Please go back and watch our other shows. My name is Victoria L. You saw Maggie, Tanya, Brandy Wiseman. You know how to get to her. Please do. I'm sure your insurance, you take insurance?
I sure do.
Okay, great. So if you can't pay out of pocket, I'm sure if you're working, then we can take your insurance.
Yeah.
So follow us on Facebook. This is our last show for the season, so we'll be back probably around in the summertime. I don't know. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, y'all can watch the other shows. And if you want to come on, you just let one of us know, and we'll have you on.
Hit us up.
All right. So everybody, be safe. Do what you want to do as far as vaccination, but as long as you're being safe with whatever you decide to do. We love you guys, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.